Thank you for staying with Daybreak. The conversation continues even during the break. Let me introduce my guests one more time, starting from the top there. Ongoya Fidel Castro, Youth Leader, Safina Party. Thank you for making time. Mavis Nekesa, Gender and Welfare Coordinator, AXAP Kenya. Thank you very much for making time. Next to us, Odanga Pesa, Secretary General, Agano National Party. Asante sana for making time. Now the lower deck is Anthony Sankale, Youth Empowerment Activist. Thank you very much for making time. Followed by Christine Maina, Vice President JKUAT. And then finally, Victor Kiprono, CEO, Zero Barefoot Campaign. In case we were about to give you a chance to respond to the reason why you've taken time to register. But Fidel, you said you wanted to rejoin that to Victor.
I think as a nation, we also need to get serious with these political parties we join. One of the things that should bring you to a political party is the ideology. That's what seduces you into this political marriage in order to win the election. But you know, majority of the youth we have here are never given what true politics is. So we are talking of voter registration. I want to point out the candidates who are vying. Matiang'i is vying for president. He is seen nowhere urging people to vie for the position, to take cards. They are just putting out posters. There is nothing they are doing as a party to bring out people to take cards. We are talking of Maraga. Maraga automatically should be disqualified. A 21st century problem cannot be solved by a person from another century. We need someone in this century, someone who thinks like us, walks like us, talks like us, behaves like us. He should be our replica.
But what is the difference?
And a youth, let me tell you, a youth, let me just finish. You will have chance to respond. A youth can be relative. And that's why someone like me has joined Safita, because I tend to marry myself to the 5 ideologies that the party anchors themselves with. And Trevor, people have different ways of explaining what politics is. And if the youth, we don't understand this thing, that we'll be jumping daily here and there, like in Nairobi here where the leaders come, they give you money so that you shout at them, we are not really going to go anywhere.
What do you understand it to be?
Let me now, and I'll give you this analogy to politics. You go to a house and you have a father, and you ask your father, what is politics? And your father will tell you, I am the one who provides money in this family, so I'm the capitalist. And your mother who keeps the money is the government. And the house helps, who takes care of your younger brother, is the working class. I am the people. I'm the one, me being explained to is the people, and my younger brother is the future. So at night, my younger brother is crying. I go to the room and I find that my brother is in a mess. I knock to my mother's room and I find that my mother is dead asleep. So I don't want to disturb her. When I go to the house help's room, I find them in a relationship with my father. So when I wake up in the morning, after my father tries to explain to me what these things is at night, I now tell my father, I now understand what politics is. It is when the capitalists are cruising the working class, when the government is asleep. The future is in deep shit. And the people are being ignored.
So let me answer you.
Let me finish.
So, if these political parties do not come out, you are seen by what you do. We are coming out in university to register more than 1,000 people, and then you want to tell us that these leaders are working. These leaders are jokers, Bana.
Okay, Sankali, I'll come to you, Pesa.
Trevor, you know, I'm very much surprised when my brother is saying that we need a youthful person to change this nation. Our president was not all like Maraga. And it's so funny that we're expecting a very youthful person to come and end corruption in this country, yet our president is only 50-something years old. I think whatever we need in this country is not a leader in terms of age. We need a leader who has integrity. And the way he has sounded today, he has sounded like a pro-government because...
I'm not pro-government.
He has sounded like pro-government because... Like he has sounded like pro-government because today it's very funny criticizing... I'm not even supporting Maraga or so, but Maraga, we saw how he nullified the 2017 election. And Maraga has really united with the youths. I'm seeing him walking everywhere across the country, urging the youth to register as voters. And this country cannot be sold. Kibaki, how old was Kibaki? He retired when he was 82. He transformed our nation. That's why our movement is called Gen Z, Gen Zote. We are everyone who wants change in this country, everyone who has integrity can change this nation. Okay. I'm not even campaigning for Maraga because our movement has not endorsed anybody. We are waiting for the youth of this nation to endorse our presidential candidate organically. What we saw in Bangladesh, they endorsed their acting prime minister organically. So, my brother, age cannot solve this nation. If it's age, Uhuru was youthful. Matiang'i is youthful. All these people wame reach kitu inaitwa political menopause. They are no longer productive. What I can say, they need all of them to go home and we bring a new set of fresh leaders.
Okay.
Not in terms of age, but in terms of integrity and leadership skills to lead this nation.
Okay. Let me yes, Pesa. Before I bring in Nekesa and
thank you, Trevor. First, I want to appreciate how you blended us in terms of age here. I think I and Kiprona here, we are almost on the millennial and the Gen Z. So what I want to say here is, you see, we must also appreciate the fact that all of us belong to this country, both the young and the old. And we cannot then age out one side. We must learn to coexist, even politically. Yeah. And why I say so is I like what my brother from Safina Party has said, and Sankale also. But the point in question here is we must ask ourselves is, we are looking for a leader with integrity.
Yes.
That is the bottom line. Whether he's young, whether he's old. Because truth be told, you can also put in a young leader, and he turns out to even be more worse than you expected.
Yes.
And we are talking about matters of national importance. We are talking about leading this country. That's not a joke. That's not something you go and shout slogans. You are being vested with the lives of almost 50 million people. So you must have the experience and the character that befits to be a president. And I say so because I've had the privilege to be an executive director of the UDA party at a very young age. And I know what politics is all about. This politics you're talking about, number one, you need resources. Number two, not in terms of money alone, even in terms of having the people supporting you. So we must be asking ourselves, even if you are fronting that person, does he have the goodwill to better this country? So I think the people being mentioned here, like even myself, when I moved from UDA to Agano, I now have the party leader, Wakili Mwaiga Mwaura. He's not a young person, but he's a person with integrity. What we are saying is, at the bottom line is, whoever we are voting in as the president, does he have the integrity to carry this country? I think we should not build an age war of the old versus the young, because we will coexist in this country. The bottom line should be, we are bringing in fresh people, fresh blood, but because they are standing on integrity. Because I can tell you for free, the people we are trying to battle with, they are no joke. There are no people who shout youthful slogans and edge them out. If you have to edge out anybody in this whole structure, the way Kiprono said, from MCA to the president, you need muscles. And for you to develop those muscles is, we need to see you on your integrity, on your mobilization, on your capacity. So we shouldn't sit here as young people and think we just now, truth be told, and I'm not looking down on my sister Nekesa. If I looked at my sister Nekesa and said, tomorrow I'm going to make her to be the president of this country, then she has to go and sit down and brainstorm, because it's not an easy joke. So I think to marry all we are saying here is, we are not mentioning names. There are people who have come out and they are saying they are vying for president. It is now upon us. And there are more who are still coming, because the race has not even started. Things will start shaping up from next year when we have the numbers. It is now us to vet them based on their capacity.
Let me hear what Nekesa has to say. Nekesa, there's an analogy that you gave us before we went for the break, that you're waiting to mobilize each other and then go take your voters, register and get registered as voters. What is the thinking behind that? And also for your generation, what kind of leader are you looking for? And from the list that you've seen, is there any of them that you can relate to at this particular moment?
Thank you, Trevor. They say you cannot grow a new forest with the old roots. I understand where my big brothers are coming from when they are saying about individual registration and also you. But remember, in 2022, we had about 22 million voters registering for the voting, but only 14 million came actually to come and vote. So what we're doing right now, it is a strategic plan, moving away from just people registering, but coming from registration until voting. And that will not happen when we start. You are talking about influencing. What we are doing, what he has done right now, that is influencing. Telling people to come out and vote, that is influencing. We are not saying that we are waiting for each other, but we are reaching out to each other. Myself, I'm a youth leader from Bungoma. So once I know, I'm saying that in Bungoma right now, I'm going next week to do my registration for the voting. I know a couple of young people will rally behind me. So that is what we are trying to do, coming up with solutions for modern problems. We are not going to the old ways. If we talk about civic education, there are no young people going to barazas right now. If I look at the budget allocated for civic education, that was around 2.5 billion. I am hoping to see IEBC involving young people. We have content creators. We all know, let's be realistic right now. We do not expect, you won't find young people or majority of the public in legal places. You'll find them in the internet, TikTok, YouTube, X, everywhere, space, So we need the IEBC to partner with young content creators to let's have the awareness in places where people can reach out to it easily. Apart from in the internet, we have the grassroots mobilization. I love what these people are doing from Safina, going to the university levels, registering people at that point. That is a very good thing, and I believe the 2.5 billion can be partnered with the young people. Also talking about the mob, it is not even a mob psychology, it is a group looking into going far, not just upper. We are looking into having voting in our candidates. As we speak right now, ACSAP Kenya, we have 290 registered people to be aspirants. And they are not even aspirants, they are leaders in waiting. What we are doing, these 290 aspirants, leaders in waiting. We are talking, a leader is not just a leader. It has to come within yourself first. You need to know how to lead yourself, and that is what we are doing. Educating ourselves. What has been wrong with these MP, these MCA? How can we make a difference? It all starts huku chini before we start hadi kuongelea.
So Nekesa, I hear you very well, and forgive the rest of us. I mean, you don't have to do things the way we've done it, okay? I understand where you're coming from, in that you want to go with a team, and therefore you hold each other accountable because I registered with you, so on the day of the voting, you find the person you registered with, and then you all vote. It's a new strategy from what all these other people have been doing. But then, how then do you avoid the same pitfalls that the generation just ahead of you have always fallen to? Because if we can identify your team, we know Nekesa has this team. What is so difficult to come and influence that team towards a certain candidate? That's all we're asking. We're not saying that the strategy is wrong. If that is a strategy you want to use, that you want to register in big numbers and then hold each other accountable so that on the election day so-and-so was with me in this polling station and therefore he has to appear, that's a new strategy. It's absolutely okay. That's the same way you mobilize people in June 25th. Agreed. But how then do you avoid the same pitfalls that your generation just ahead of you have always fallen to? Because if you can identify that you have 100 people behind you, what would stop me from coming and influencing your team so that you vote for a particular candidate and not the person you wanted?
So, Trevor, there's something that people in power do, divide and conquer. And that is what has been done ages after ages after ages. But right now, we are a group of people. We have seen someone we are going to. Our 290 reps that we have, we know for sure, for a fact. We have come together. Come rain, come shine. We are going to make sure they get into that seat. How do we make sure they get into that seat having the same vision? We are very sure that the people we are rallying up for, they have a shared vision. In Sirisia, for example, I know the person that I'm going to front is sharing the vision that I have. So me and 3,000 other people, we know. We have sat down, continuous meeting after meeting, explaining from A to Z, why should I vote for you? This is your manifesto. But I think, hapa unaweza fanya hivi na hivi. And they sit down and recalibrate their moves.
Okay.
Unaona, when we have that is ownership.
Yeah.
Once you feel like you own something, it's very easy to carry along with that one.
Okay.
And that is the only way we can move from having...
That's the ideal situation, Nekesa. There's also the idea where you may be having your own people supporting them, 3,000 of them, but then they're the real grassroots voters who Kiprono was talking about, the grandmother in the village there. And they sometimes outnumber you because they say that in literal figures, you definitely outnumber the older generation. But when it comes to now decision-making and action, they end up outnumbering you. That's where the main concern is. How do you keep this ship and the people together without...
So Trevor, when I talked about grassroots engagement, this also includes my grandmother at home, my grandfather at home. For example, there's a new thing IEBC has come up with, the IRIS verification. You might see some people are shying away from it because they do not really understand. Unajua, we are living in Kenya, of course, there are Illuminati, 66, nini, those things will come up. Sindio? So before they come up...
I think
no, we are lucky. We are lucky to be educated. We are lucky to be educated and seated here. But my grandmother is not here. Your grandfather is not here, Trevor. So what will be done is we are engaging them from their point.
Okay.
Young people shall move from that way.
So how do you change the future from the young people's perspective? What kind of leaders are you looking for? And also explain the reason why there was some of them who were attacking you, saying that this idea that it didn't fit in my schedule is a reason why, even in 2027, your schedule will still not fit, and therefore you will not elect the leaders that you deserve.
First of all, Trevor, I will go pick my voter's card. I have not yet picked, but I will. My vote is counting for my future. According to nobody elects themselves into the office. For the president to get into the office, they need my vote, your vote, so that they can accumulate all the votes. So when you speak about, for myself, I'll go register myself as a voter. I have something else I want to speak about.
It's that procrastination that people are wondering. Until when? It's been a week. Or did you want to wait until the 8 months is done, then come to the last?
No. We still have time, but I know that is not an excuse, but it's only 1 week. And people are still walking into the IEBC to go and register in as voters. Something else I want to talk about is about the mobilization. I want to second what my friend Wekesa has said about the group thing. You see, when we were protesting in the June 25th, we used different social media platforms to encourage one another to come out on that day so that we can protest. The same thing is also happening on the social media platforms. Immediately, the IEBC said that they have opened their doors so that people can come and pick their voter's card. I saw very many young people on Monday encouraging each other. The IEBC has already opened their doors to the public so that you can go register. So when we say that, when we're saying that young people are not willing to pick their voter's card, that is wrong. Because right now everybody is awake. Probably in the last election, most of the young people, according to the statistics, never went out to vote. Why? Before that, I do not want to assume, but we had been experiencing at least good governance. But right now, everybody is awake. We are educating one another, and we know the kind of leaders we want. We want leaders who have integrity, leaders who have our futures in their hearts, but are not there for their own interests. Okay. So we are going in.
Okay.
And trust you me, this year, the youths are going to come out so many because we are already fed up. Okay. We are fed up about experiencing bad leadership. On 2027, we are going to be going to vote in. We're going to be voting out bad leadership. Right now, it's about governance. We should learn to separate between governance and politics. Right now, we should be focusing on good governance. If maybe your MP member has not been acting well, that is the day you go and vote them out. So the ideology of that young people are not going to vote.
Yeah. It's not there.
It's not there, yes.
You're the one who
I also want to say something else about whatever he said about the universities, the IEBC working with the universities. We already saw that the IEBC is already partnering with Pani University, to register in new voters. So the IEBC is already working itself.
Okay.
And the young people you're going to picking our votes.
They just haven't reached you yet.
I'll go to them. They'll not reach to me. I'll go to them.
Victor, do you feel like the young people will change the trajectory of this nation? Because there's something interesting you mentioned, that the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah.
And President William Ruto is a youthful leader. But is he still the choice for the young people?
William Ruto, the president, His Excellency, is the youthful leader, and it is the leader who Kenya really waited for, and is the leader who is changing this country. I am a proud person sitting here today because we have a working president. It is my opinion. We've come here to hire. Everybody has an opinion, and good governance in this context is relative. You know, you can choose what is good for yourself. And sometimes I feel like the negativity is too much to a point that we don't see the good things. You know, Trevor, we are living in a country where negativity has really overhauled the whole thing. So that when you think of William Ruto, you think like this guy is a monster sitting somewhere and perhaps not working. But if you become realistic and logically true, William Ruto has tried. He's a working president. He's the president in my entire life that is a working president. This guy has never slept in his job since day one in office. Today, as we speak, this country is in a good trajectory. You've seen the Talanda stadiums coming up. You've seen our health sector transformed. You've seen our agriculture sector is being transformed. I don't want to delve into that at the moment. My point is, we've come here to discuss about taking our voters' card. And I want to ask
the kind of leaders that
we want. And I want to ask these young people. You know, voting or taking your voter's card is actually a moral obligation. It is a moral obligation. It is not your wish. It is in morality that you feel like, I want good leadership. Today, if, as the young people in Uasin Gishu, we want to change the leadership of Uasin Gishu, we will start by asking ourselves, who is the governor of Uasin Gishu? What is he doing? Are we able to change this kind of leadership? How are we going to change it? By being the change that we wish from this governor, by electing new leadership. But you see, the problem that we have in Kenya is we shout William Ruto must go. How is William Ruto going to leave office?
By taking our vote.
It is by you taking your vote. Yeah. But then leadership and politics is about organizing and mobilizing. William Ruto is not, as Odanga Pesa is saying, I know he didn't want to put it clear. William Ruto is not a pushover. He's not a kind of a person that you will wake up one day and you think he will just leave status. He is also organizing and doing his work as president. And I'm saying William Ruto is delivering his mandate as a president. You see him in Hunga. It has been rated that he is the best in the speech. The ratings are out. And he has been rated the best.
By who? Best in speech.
Exactly.
But poor in performance. Poor in performance.
But the thing is, even Jesus Christ was not praised in his hometown.
Jesus was a performer.
Even in your family level, you cannot be praised even in your village.
Yeah.
But you can be doing well, but people are not seeing it. It is the negativity that is in our politics. Let me tell you, my fellow young people, when we were having a vote poll, the Chan, 2024, you see the unity in the country. You saw how the country was really united because we had a common cause. When our athletics go and run, all of us are happy when we see Eliud, when we see Kipyegon running. It is the Kenyan spirit.
Yeah.
The problem when it comes to politics is you start thinking about, oh, I am a Kalenjin, oh, I am a Kikuyu, oh, I am a Luo. We still want to go back to a tribal cocoons. Okay. Today, in this panelist, you may think people are very liberal here. You may hear my brother from Savina Party talking about the Savina Party as if it is a party from heaven. His party leader is Jimmy Wanjigi. Yeah. What does Jimmy Wanjigi stand for in this country? when you hear him talk about...
I will explain to you.
When you hear him talk about someone like Maraga, at least for Maraga, we've seen what he has done. What has, for example, his party leader done for this country? What does he even stand for in Savina Party? So let's not lie to ourselves. And the problem that really... the real problem and the elephant in the room is actually our tribal politics. Let us not lie to ourselves. Today, if we go back to 2027, and when that bell will be rung for people to go for elections, we will still go to our tribal politics.
Okay.
And that is the real problem facing our politics today. Even in the arrangement of our political parties, you will see, for example, in the Rift Valley region, the dominant political party is UDA, simply because the party leader who is the president comes from that region. The dominant political party in the entire Nyanza region and those zones is ODM, because the party leader comes from that area. The dominant political party in Mount Kenya now is the local party, DCP. And the rest, you can tell.
Okay.
It is because our politics has been arranged in tribes. And that is what we don't want to discuss. I want us as the young people to change that discussion. How are we going to change that discussion? We are going to change that discussion if we are going to be real.
Okay.
Let's not.
Let me hear what else. I'll come to
we
you.
need to be real in our politics, so that the change can only come when we are real and when we take.
Okay, Fidel, is that an issue? The tribal card.
Before I even answer his question, because I will answer him content-based. We stand for free healthcare. SHA is not working. It is only working for politicians on mouth, but they go to Aga Khan. No, let me tell you. There are some children who have died here. SHA is only paying a fraction of whatever they have. When we tell you that we want free education and free healthcare, those are 2 points that my party leader and I stand for. One, we are saying that as a country, we are paying odious debt. We are not going to pay as a party. Debt that is being taken without the approval of Parliament. We are saying that the government should not borrow, should not continue doing domestic borrowing. No, let me finish. When you were talking about
there's an issue you raise of tribal politics, which I want him to also...
I am also going to indulge into that. When we are saying we are not going to borrow domestically so that we empower the banks to heavily lend Kenyans so that Kenyans can grow. We do not lack ideologies. We are an agenda-based party.
Okay. And the tribal...
When we talk about tribal politics, when you push your agenda of when William Ruto comes from Rift Valley, majority of the people side with him. I come from Nyanza, but I'm not in ODM. I'm in Safina Party. Safina is not being led by Aluo. So let me tell you, just let me finish.
Okay.
Don't come to a meet. You know, when you come here, Ruto behaves like the proverbial chameleon. He works well on speeches and performs like a crawling camel on work that he was given to do. Never come to a media station and say that that something like health is working. And then you come here and then you want to say that youths like someone like Ruto is youthful. When Ruto was coming to office, when Raila was prime minister, he was flagged as a minister in his ministry, that his ministry, there was money that was stolen there. We never wanted to vote for him because majority of the leaders were saying that was happening. Let me just finish. Don't be agitated, boss. You just be calm, compose yourself, and just digest.
I cannot sit here.
Let him finish.
No, but you were saying
what he's saying is too pedestrian.
No, it's pedestrian and
get a chance to respond, and also there's only about things you can prove.
Yes, I can prove.
What he's saying is too pedestrian, and we cannot sit here.
You were saying that
you want me to prove.
Okay, hold on one second. Let's focus on let's refocus this conversation. Is the tribe still an issue?
Let me tell you, when we talk about tribe, it is fact that we cannot hide that Kenyan politics is tribal based. For you to win where Victor comes from, you must be he is vying in UDA, that's why he's supporting UDA. So for him to win, he must be heavily involved in supporting William Ruto with his legs on top and his hands.
Isn't it just the same way you're supporting Safina?
I am so that I prove to you that I'm not tribal. I am not into a party that majority of our clansmen come from.
Okay. Let me hear what Sankali has to say about it.
But let me finish by saying this. Let me finish by saying this, Trevor. You see, as youth want to come out to vote. It is Article 88 of the Constitution says that it is the mandate of the IEBC to come out and register people as voters. The reason as to why I'm here as an engine of the party that is supporting them to ensure that we direct the youth into a given direction, okay, IBC will do what it wants, but will IBC manage to get youths who still have apathy and illusionment about voting? That is why we now come into place and say, we know IBC might not reach a certain slum area. It might not reach a given area. I go and sell my 5-point feast agenda ideologies to those people. They buy it and I tell them that I have come here and I have my voter's card. Because I also have mine here on my small wallet here. And then I tell them, because I have this, let us now walk to the office. We want to go there, and the best thing that can happen is you get it. And the worst is you get denied because you are online. So it's not that the people of Kenya are not working. It is just that the people that we have in these parties are not performing. And lastly, Trevor, as I finish, the reason as to why I don't support majority of this candidate, and I have my opinion on this. William Ruto came into office. He has performed dismally. He has only delivered 14 promises out of 1,000 that he gave. The people who are supporting Maraga are people who are in Ruto's team, even during Rigathie's impeachment. So these people are now angels from heaven. They are best before sliced bread that they are supporting Maraga and we should support him. We see things that when we are seated here, we see things that people in UDA cannot see even while standing on top of
Okay.
Trevor.
Wait, I'll give you a chance.
Well, I just want to clarify some small points here. Before I go to this big argument, these my friends are arguing here. Like you see in our Sauti Mpya Gen Z Gen Zote movement, when we go mashinani, this is what we do. Tukishafundisha Mkenya civic education, ndio hii group isikuje chukuliwe na watu kama Safina, UDA, hizi chama zote zenye zilikuwa, we make them take a public oath. They take an oath. This oath is to make sure, na tunatemea na Biblia.
But it's not binding in any way, but I get your...
At least, we know Kenyans, we fear God. So the moment they take an oath, at least watakuwa kisema hii oath tulichukua, tunamwogopa Mwenyezi Mungu. And also, we want to urge the government that wale watu wamepoteza vitambulisho, let them get the replacement of the ID for free. I think this is another thing that hinders the youths to register as voters. As well, kuchukua kitambulisho wanachajiwa pia some small amount of money. Let it be free.
Okay. So in this team of viewers, who decides who the leader is? Because you're still going to vote for someone. You said you're trying to protect them from people like Akina Safina, Akina Gan.
In our movement, we have structural leadership.
So who decides who to support? Because you still have to support someone in.
Yeah, we have structural leadership. For example, each and every county we have leaders. We have county representatives, we have constituency representative, ward representative, and village group leaders.
Okay.
Every month they conduct public parliament, and after 2 months they do join public parliament.
No, that's fine. What I'm suggesting is, who do they pick nationally?
Nationally.
Who decides who they support?
We, as Sauti Mpya, we want to, every youth of this nation, we speak in one language. Sisi wote tutaamua ni nani tutasupport.
So you have not decided?
We haven't decided.
Okay. So you cannot lock out any of them?
Yeah, but that nini of tribal, this is what I'll say. I've had my brother from Safina. I like he's an anti-government, nime-realize hivyo, but amesema for you to be elected in this country, you have to be in a certain tribe. When we were protesting June 25th, we said we are tribeless, partyless, we said we are fearless, you know? We said we are partyless.
So you don't think the politics is still tribal? You think that issue of tribe is a thing of the past?
This generation has come to change tribal politics.
Okay.
And why? Because, like, for example, someone like Rigathi Gachagua, when he was impeached, when wakati finance bill ilikuwa imetengenezwa, and I think he was given almost 3 billion, him plus the wife, he never mentioned Mlima at that time. He never went and told the people of Mlima that, hii pesa nimepatiwa, sinaweza wapatia mnunue kula za maziwa, mnaweza nunua gari za kupeleka miraa. He was silent.
Those are also statements you can't prove.
Yes.
But
statements you cannot prove.
Yeah, but after when he was impeached, he went back to their people. Lastly, I want to correct my brother. The UD administration, they said is bottom up. So we the youths, we want to change the government from MCA to the president. We want to make sure we have clean everybody.
Yeah.
We want to bring a new set of leaders.
Yeah.
Because tulipatiwa wheelbarrow, tukapatiwa mkokoteni.
Yeah.
I think maybe tulikula sha na shi. maybe tulikula barabara zetu.
Okay.
That's why we are going locally to make sure we have educated our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I bring in Nekesa and Christine, let me hear what Pesa has to say. Pesa, am I the one who's missing something here? When the young people say they want a new team, a new set of leaders, who are they going to elect? Because there's a difference between just making that statement and then there's the action bit of it. There has to be someone. In fact, what I would have expected from the young people is to say that this is our candidate as a young people. And then it's a uniform conversation across board. We're not hearing that. So how will this leadership then change if everybody's pulling in their own direction? Victor is heading towards UDA, Safina is heading towards Wanjigi, you are heading towards Wahiga. So at what point is there convergence from the young people?
Thank you, Trevor. You know, Kenyan politics can be quite interesting. And seated here this morning and hearing each one of us speaking, sometimes I get worried, but sometimes I encourage myself. Maybe I will invite all of them to join Agano Party so that from there we can show them direction. This is my point. I say 2 years or 1 year close to election, we shouldn't be talking about, tribal politics. And this is my reason. We, the young people, showed the way and came together to challenge the government financial bill. And of course, for the first time in the Kenyan history, the president had to put a stop because in any other governments, they would not have listened. So from there, we had new dimensions of politics taking shape. And I get your concern because we have been saying we young people, we want change. And we are not pointing to a particular individual. Yeah. And so we keep dildaning. Time is moving.
In fact, I'd dare ask, one of the young people who was always fronted was Boniface Mwangi.
Yes.
I don't hear the young people offering support.
Because I will tell you a little bit of the political party experience. And I think even for the young people, it's not just enough to register to be a voter. What has been lacking in the Kenyan political space is even the young people are also not coming out to vie and be voted in.
And if they're not coming up to vie, isn't that because of their fellow young people who will then demand things from them? That
not really that. I will tell you, Trevor, out of experience, I've also seen young people who had good ideals, volunteered to vie, and they were not voted in by the very young people.
True.
It's a fact. In fact, the young people started asking them, do you have the money to vie for this particular seat you are going for?
It's the young people who are the greatest disadvantage to themselves.
So I think where we sit as young people, we need to have a mindset change to understand that this is a political process that has players, it has processes. Just the way Sankale said that an election is a process. And I think as we keep on going, because I've told you from where I sit, campaigns have not even started out of experience, because even these characters we are mentioning that they are vying, some of them may not sustain the tempo when the real fire starts. Because we are... Because, no, hold on. Because with time, when we now have the numbers, because the election is about numbers, and young people have the capacity that we have the highest majority of numbers. I think from where I start, I will not point to a candidate, because I come from in Agano, I have Wahiga who vied in 22 years, is on record of integrity. We have also other people mentioning. So I think as we have numbers, when the real fire starts, it is now upon us young people that for the first time, let's reduce the stories and go into action.
Now. Okay.
If we say we want a particular person, let's rally behind the person.
Okay.
Because as we are talking and wasting time, and I like how you put it in your assertion that the Kenyan politics, because of the resource mobilization and sharing, we would always take the tribal angle. You know, we must also separate facts. We must not be on TV and look like now Kenya is America. Yeah. Surely along the way, Kenyans will vote based on their regional stuff. But we appreciate that for the first time, young people are trying to show the way that I could vote you in Trevor as an MP in Nairobi here without caring where you come from or the region, because I'm more inclined to your agenda. So I think I'm challenging us who are seated here, young people, because I'm assuming you are leaders here, and therefore there are people who follow you. Let's reduce the noise now and get into action.
Okay.
And what I mean getting into action is, let's join political parties, let's participate in voter registration, let some of us participate in vying.
Yeah.
When the presidents come up, when the real fire starts, because I can tell even for me, I'm not a madman to have left UD and now joined Agano. You don't know the plan I have with my presidential candidate, Wahiga Mwaura. By the time the bell rings, some of the names we are hearing here, in the last election we had 49 presidential candidates. At the end, only 4 were cleared.
Yeah.
Some of them did not even have papers.
Okay.
Some of them did not even have the 24 counties to be subjected to. So the challenge I'm sharing to us young people here is the fire we started in June 2023, where we said, because William Ruto has these 2 years to finish his first term. If we focus on, putting 1 term and 2 term, I think for us we should look for a president who has Kenyan interests at heart.
Okay.
And that should be the challenge of every young person.
Okay, Victor, I'll come to you. Let me hear what Nekesa and Christine have to say on this. Nekesa, will this issue of money and tribe play a role when it comes to election for your people? When I say your people, I mean your generation.
I've been shocked to hear tribe and money come from this space, because that is not something that I've interacted with while I was tumekwa ground. Me and my young people that are vying, you were saying there are no aspirants. There are people who are vying for these seats, gubernatorial seats, MP seats. They are vying for these seats and wanaenda kufanya campaigns. And these campaigns even do not cost huge amounts. Stories are handout, tokenism is what we are. Tunaeka past that. We are going to, what are you bringing to the table as an MP? What are you saying? Which is your impact to the people? Stories are, right now I'll come and give you 200, Bob. You are not supposed to ask me a question when I get in the seat, because I gave you a piece. Una expect nirudishie your 200 aje. But now when we keep the money aside, the tribe aside, we are focused on the real issues, the real matters of the country, the place that you come from. And that comes from kusoma constitution first of all. You will come to realize that most people point out to the president, but the real people that have our money, the real people that are needed to be accountable to us, ni watu yako government yetu ya home, Bungoma, the county government, Machakos, everywhere. That is the people that we are supposed to ask the question. But because the awareness is not where it should be, unaona people are directing their anger, their issues to the wrong people.
Okay.
And even the vote, the one that matters most, inaanzia to the grassroots. So I don't see where tribe and money will come as a conflict of young people not getting into the government. And I've heard you people say that young people are not together. And me nashanga, am I not a young people? Me and my team, are we not young people? Because we're together in this, and I'm sure we are going to vote for each other.
But you haven't picked who your leader would be. Who is your... Okay, direct question.
Then,
the presidential candidate.
We're going to work on that.
We will convince her.
You see now.
No, you cannot convince me. I have my leader, and you cannot convince me.
No, you know what, the point she's saying, Trevor.
What I'm saying
just a minute.
Let me speak for her.
I want to add.
Listen. What you are doing right now, it is dividing. What I was talking about, dividing. Kidogo watu warushiane makofi, because it is dividing. Right now, what you should be talking about, it is registration of voters. These stories are parties. Let's the 6 of us should be talking in one uniform voice, talking about let's people go and register for their vote. Hizi vitu zingine.
How do you
propaganda? Your opinion does not matter. Your vote matters.
But for the record, allow Nekesa to finish. For the record, Nekesa, you don't need to tell any of us who your candidate is.
Yes.
It's not required. What I'm asking you, what we're heading to here, is how do you change a country if you don't have a vision? So which kind of leader would you want? And don't be pressured to answer whether give a name. It's just the kind of leader. And is that uniform across board for the young people?
Yes, it is uniform for the young people. The young people have one person they are looking for. They are looking at as their leader. If others they have of different opinion, I don't know if they are young in birth certificate peke yake na ID because we are looking at people wako na impact.
Okay.
People that are changing the narrative of what we've had in the past. Someone who is coming changing questioning the norms.
Okay.
that is the person we are going to vote in.
Okay, let me hear what Christine has to say. Will money and tribe play any role? Because we saw, for example, Maraga had a bit of a standoff with the young people in Mombasa when they wanted fare, and he said, I don't have the money. And it was headline news because it's not normal for that to happen. And yet it should be normal that nobody has that kind of money at this particular point. We see campaign financing even in the US, people calling for donations and supporting the campaign. If you try and do that here in this country, the automatic disqualification is you don't have the capacity to run for this. It's like a mainstreaming corruption that it's expected that you must give some handouts. So will money and tribe play a key role in the election in 2027 from a young person's perspective?
Okay, I'll start with the tribe. I'm shocked to hear that. Right now, tribe is a factor to the leaders you're going to elect. Maybe that tribe might have been a factor back then when we were not maybe so informed and we were looking for people who are going to represent us back then according to our tribe. But right now, for example, I come from Nyeri. Gachagua, who was currently impeached, comes from my area. If back then I voted in for Gachagua because of the tribe, is he helping me right now? No, he's not helping me. He's at home. So right now, tribe is not a factor. And the fact that we all marched out the youths on the 25th, we all came in as tribeless. So I am wondering whether my friend here has been active and sought that the youths are very tribeless. About the money, something that has been always been said is tunakula but tunachukua kura. So by you giving me 200 does not guarantee I am going to give you my vote. You give me your 200 because you wanted to. I never asked for the money. But at the end of the day, how will I be assessing my leader? I'll be assessing my leader because I want somebody who one has integrity, somebody who is going to represent me so that I am not, so that maybe myself and other students are not on strike, so that the healthcare facilities works for us. So money and tribe, money might be a factor to run the campaign, but it should not be a factor to the leader we are going to elect.
Okay, let me hear Victor come to Danga. Yeah.
All right.
No, finish. It's okay, just finish it.
Yeah, so we should be, these are small problems. The big problem we should be thinking about is how are we going to assess the leader? Tribe and money should not be a factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Victor, you're the one who raised this issue of tribe.
Yeah, I'm the one who
the young people in the panel are telling you that those are the olden days between
you see,
me and you going back there.
You see, there is fiction and there is reality.
Yes.
And when the rubber meets the road, Trevor, you know me, I'm a realist. I have fight before, and I have won elections before as a student leader in university, and I have tested how politics is and the wrath of and the reality of politics. Let's not lie to ourselves. And today, in my panelist, I've had young people talking, and I want to tell you that sometimes let nobody lie to you. Age is not a qualification of good leadership. You know, we tend to believe that if you are young, you are now qualified to be a good leader. Age is not a qualification of good leadership. We have even young people who are corrupt. We have the worst young people who don't have qualities of leadership. And there is nowhere written that when you are 22 years, you are a good leader. That is the lie of our century. Good leadership is what someone believes in, what is your ideology, and what you stand for. You can have a young people who don't even have integrity. We've had even young people who are the most corrupt. We've had young people who are most evil in this country. What we want to do is, when I mention about the tribal politics, it's about the reality of our politics. I am not trying to marinate you. I'm here to just, I usually say, as Kiprono, I am just here to mention facts are there. And it is what I see, and it is what I encounter every day. Every time when I go to the village during weekends and I interact with the people and I hear what they have to say, is I hear this notion of, even in our local dialect radio stations, what information reaches the people and how it is packaged influence how people think. There is what we call constructivism in international relations. Our society has been constructed over time. and how our politics has been done over time shapes our future.
Yeah.
As the young people, we want now to change. There is now a shift. There is now a generational shift of leadership from the old now to the new. But this change is not going to be a walk in the park. It is not going to be easy as you want to put it. It is not going to be as easy as what Nekesa is saying, just walking in and mobilizing yourself and voting. I can tell you, my sister Nekesa, maybe you don't have the experience of time, and I don't blame you for that, because you will get to know that, is that when you get to go to an election, for example, Trevor, you have to have active media, you have to do printouts for your posters, you have to do T-shirts, you have to do caps, everything.
We are doing that by ourselves.
Yeah. Now everything is
they're doing that.
The whole team
by ourselves.
We want to build hospitals.
Yeah, not even T-shirts alone.
But you need resources.
Yeah.
What then I'm saying is that the problem actually that we are facing in this room is the same young people. What you are saying is that when young people are asking Maraga for fare, let me tell you, Trevor, every time I go to the village, actually the people who come and ask me for handouts are the young people. I have never found even a old Rumse coming and telling me, Victor, give me something. It is the same young people.
You are the problem.
You know, the problem is exactly. The same young people. We want to portray as if we are angels and we advocating for good governance.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the reality on ground check, let's do ground check. If you walk down the street, high chances are 90% of the people asking for the handouts are the young people. How are we going to change this narrative, Trevor? It is when we become real. It is when we become real and say, when our politics is still tribal, are we going to change this? Can we have a mentality change fast?
Okay.
You know, the problem is we want to preach good water and drink wine.
Yeah.
You know, most young people, during Friday like this, vijana wanataka waingie local saizi. Sini Friday. They will call that MP. Wamwambia tuko wangapi hapa sisi tunataka hivi na hivi. It is that bad kind of leadership. And what we are saying is the push by the young people to change this country will not happen easily.
Okay.
It will take sweat.
Yeah.
It will take our energy.
Okay.
And we have to be serious and focused. Okay. Lastly, what my brother from Savina is saying is too pedestrian. I've heard him talk a lot of pedestrian politics here about our president. When you come to a national television and start perhaps saying that the president has only fulfilled 14 promises out of 1,000, and Odanga Pesa can confirm. He's our former party member, and I know he will come back home when that time comes. I know he is my friend, and I know he will just maneuver around. He will come back home because of what we believe in UDA. I have read the UDA manifesto myself. Okay. And what the president promised is what he's delivering.
Okay.
Never one try to be pedestrian.
Let's not go into that. Let's talk about the leaders that you want.
And finally, Trevor, finally, for only 10 seconds, as the young people, let's take up the chance and even go for these elections. Let's go for that MCA post. Let's go for that senatorial post, and let us be the change that we wish.
Okay, Pesa. And I know Christine Nekesa have something to say as well. I'll give you a chance just really briefly because we're running out of time. Yes.
Thank you, Trevor. I just wanted to highlight a bit what you meant by tribal politics. The way we see young people still waiting to be mobilized to come out and register. That means you're allowing the older generation to still organize themselves along tribal lines. And that's why we are saying, if we have to change that perception, then we have to take this matter very seriously.
Okay.
And to just say that to the young people that we must now come out and act. That's why you see, even in this by-election, Agano is fielding his candidate. And the young people, I'm a young person, because this politics, you know, there are things we used to be taught in schools that you don't use them today. If you are too theoretical, you miss the facts. And you will hide in that theory and wait. When you come out, things will have already changed.
Okay.
The reality on the ground here is we are talking about politics. It will be done in a polling station. You need to mobilize. You need resources. And therefore, if we young people have to participate and make an impact, because let me give you a good example. You have a sitting president now who is in office. He's not sleeping. He's also doing his own calculations. If you have to meet the threshold to remove him out of office, you have to take your game a bit serious more than he's doing. We will not do it if we are here still waiting, you know, to be mobilized. Because my sister Nekesa here says she has 290 aspirants under the youth youth umbrella to vie. She has not convinced even one of them to register, including herself. She has not registered even as a voter.
Do not misquote me. Do not misquote. No. Do not misquote.
What I'm saying,
do not misquote.
What I'm saying is, she said she's fronting 290 people who will vie, who will participate, which is a good thing. Because even me, I've said what has been lacking in political parties is young people taking up this space. To know, young people have to be on the decision-making table if we have to change the politics of this country. My sister here, just a minute, Trevor, has 290 people who they are working with.
And
registered. My question is, if she's the leader of them and she has not registered, it's a bad influence.
No.
What I mean in this case is, just a minute. You must lead by being at the front. And that's why I'm not like ridiculing her. I'm challenging her that if she has to bring that revolution and it helps us young people, she has to be at the forefront. She has, because those 290 people may be waiting on her to take the step. You see? And what about if by the time we keep dildaling and you show up in Bungoma, you want to register, and you are told the system is not working, you will not be a voter. So what we are saying in summary is the same way you've seen, I've said, like for example, we are saying young people must take space. I'm now pushing a gun. We are fielding candidates because I've realized this game we are talking about, if we only remain theoretical and we are sitting here in the media, we are talking good stories, saying we want a president with impact, we want the president with that integrity or with integrity, and you don't step on the field and make it count. Trust me, when after election, we'll come here and be saying this person has fulfilled 10 promises out of 12,000, the game will remain the same. So we must take the challenge.
All right, Nekesa, as you wind up, I'll give you a chance. Let's do that.
Let me start by saying you cannot teach old dogs new tricks. And by that, you might not believe in what we have in our vision, but ourselves, we believe in it, and we do not need you to believe in it. You'll see it actualize. And I'm very glad that the CEO Barefoot said I think he's vying somewhere, and he said he's giving handouts. And that is the problem that we have. You're going to give handouts kwa kijiji hata hujavai kwanza. That is the problem that we have. It's like showing the people, it's showing the young people you don't have the money, you cannot hand out this kind of money that I'm handing out. So they feel challenged. Ni kama unawekea the fear that they cannot. And the people that talk about money, they are always the people that with the money. But we as young people, for example, I'm skilled in maybe printing. I'll print for my aspirant. We have a whole group. Nimesema tena hapa, tumekuwa tukienda ground. And these people, someone is fueling, someone is printing shirts, someone is making banners, because we have the skills tayari. And we are using these combined efforts to one specific person. So you cannot say the reality of things. That was the reality of things in the past. Right now, it is a revolution of the young people. The young people are taking space. So do not sit warm in your seat. Get ready to stand up from it. And right now, what we should be talking about, it is voter registration. So we should be co-creating with the IBC, co-creating with the government to ensure that we have as many numbers as we possibly can.
So your style is different. Christine, as we wind up.
I wonder, my friend here, the kind of youth he's interacting with, because the youths are ranging online. We are all ranging online. And something else I want to ask him is about the services we are receiving. For example, I'll just use SHA. Has he interacted with SHA? Something else, I'll say the system is so rich. For example, right now, Trevor, if I lose my ID and I need to replace it for me to get my voter's card, right now, if you do not have somebody to push for you, to push the process for you so that you can acquire your Maisha card, you're going to spend, I have friends who are already spending 6 months without getting their ID. Why? The system is rigged. But we're still resonating with the things of the past. Maybe back then, when he was a youth, maybe in his 20s.
In his old days, he's still a young man.
Sorry.
Are you a young person?
It's an old youth.
Let Christine finish.
I'm just saying, I have not said he's old. He's still a youth. You know, for the youth, I am 20 and somebody who is 35 in this country, we are all regarded as youth.
Almost twice your age. I get it. We understand.
Thank you, Trevor. So, right now, if he is associating, if he's interacting with young people who are maybe my age, he would have seen the reality on the ground. Maybe I do not know the type of people he's interacting with, but he needs to widen his he needs to widen his circle so that he may get whatever the young people were ranging about.
All right. Sankeli.
Well, I will want him first to finish speaking, and then I submit as the last.
So you're submitting your time?
Yeah, because I really want to counter the three of them.
Yeah. To a meeting where you call youths without fair reimbursement, they come spend their time and you give them no food. Any meeting without food reimbursement and fair should be held online.
Very true.
Okay.
This is the problem.
Now,
uko na pesa, sina pesa.
The youth, the magic of human achievement gives us an irrefutable proof that as so long as the nationalism of this country is awakened amongst us and that we realize what politics is, then that becomes the vanguard against impunity. Let us come out and take our voters' registration card, join your political party, have your ID. Those are the tools you are going to use to kick out a politician, the legacy politicians we don't want, and bring in new leadership. Lastly, for those who believe in change in this country, on Friday, as Safina Party will have time to take you as the youth to your constituency level where you'll be taking your voters card in the 17 constituencies in Nairobi. So I can advise you, if you want a vessel that will take you somewhere, dial *509# and use our party code as 034 to join our party. You can leave these vessels like wheelbarrows and join a ship that will transform Kenya.
Okay, Sankali.
Trevor, just have one question for you. After 2022 election, Agano Party, the Maura, at some point he supported Ruto. So let me go now to my point. You see, you want to know the true Gen Zs. It's me, her, and her. All these three people, their party leaders have worked with William Ruto. Show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Let me ask you, if we form our own party for the youths, will those 219 youths who have mentored can join that party, right? If we form our own party, our own youth party, we can be able to conquer these old parties.
Trevor, only a fool can never change his mind.
Trevor, let me finish.
Let him finish.
Trevor.
A minute, Trevor.
These three individuals, they are here championing for their party. But the three of us, we are championing for the transformation and change of this nation. These three presidents, I'm looking at them, I'm seeing Wanjigi, I'm seeing Mwaura, I'm seeing William Ruto.
Yeah.
They have eaten on the same table. Hawa ni vifaranga za hawa watu. They have just here. It's only like they are the same monkeys.
Different forests.
Different forests.
Just to clarify, I did not say who I'm
Trevor,
my party leader is not a monkey.
And I just want to look at the camera and tell the people of Kenya and all the youths. When Safina Party comes to you, just know 2022, he worked with William Ruto.
Where?
When Agano endorsed William Ruto.
Trevor, don't allow such
and Mwaura of
William.
Agano Party.
William Ruto, why are you lying?
After Agano, let me finish, Trevor. I have not interjected when they were talking.
You are an agent being...
Agano Party, at some point, worked with William Ruto. So we must drain the swamp.
Okay.
We must make sure these political parties demand a home.
Is your problem
and I'm sure we the youths, like here, my sister, we are going to work together. She comes from Nyeri.
Yes.
Next month, we are going to we are going to make sure we have
Not shy. Not shy.
Coming up next, T-Boy. Bye for now. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we leave it for now. Asanteni sana.